Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about the Godox AD360 Mark II. This is a new upgrade to the very popular Mark I that Godox make. A lot of companies have rebranded this under their own badge, but the Godox were the original manufacturers, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. The Mark I was very popular with both event and wedding photographers because it is a very portable unit. You can carry it around easy. It packed a big punch for the size of it. So the Mark II has a few extra additions which I thought was very interesting. It comes with TTL, high-speed syncs in the box. So the Mark I you had to sort of fudge it a little bit, but Mark II just comes with high-speed sync. And it also has the ability to be a master flash as well. It's also compatible with the new Godox range of accessories. So for example, if I just grab them, you can use the X1 series controller to control it, or if you've got the newer TT685 flashes, you can also use these to control that remotely, or actually vice versa. So if you really wanted to, you could actually use this to control this flash as well. Okay. Just a quick tour of the accessories that I like to use in it. Out of the box you get the unit itself, obviously. You get the cable, you get the standard reflector, which is like this, which goes on the front, and it's just, there you go, put that on. Other than the cable, you get the battery pack. Now, there are a few optional accessories that I think are well worth buying. They're not expensive at all, and they will make it far easier for you to use. So the first one that I like to use is the DBO2, which is a Y adapter. What this does is it lets you plug the single cable that you get out of the box into both battery ports, which basically halves the recycle time. So rather than 4 to 5 seconds to recharge the flash, it now cuts it down to 2 to 3 seconds. So when you're running and gunning, that's actually very, very useful. The other thing that I like to use is the integrated umbrella mount. This just goes onto the side. You do get another little modifier with it, but I don't use it, I don't even know where it is. That just, if you want to use a shoot-through umbrella, then you can do so. The other thing that I found incredibly useful is the battery mount here. So this is just a metal piece of metal that clips onto the side of any light stand or pole, whichever you're using to mount it on, and you just clip the battery on top just to keep it in place. Otherwise the battery just sort of flops about and it's just a bit of a pain in the bum to carry around with you. So those are the most popular ones I use. In terms of using the flash, I found it really helpful. That the new features really make it even easier to use than the old one was. The biggest change was the integration of the trigger and receiver. So now you don't need the little FT16 that goes at the side. The original one used the FT16 controllers, which used the 433 MHz range, which a lot of people complained had a very poor range. So you move a bit further away and it sort of stopped working. The newer ones use the more popular 2.4 GHz, which should give you a much longer range. I don't know if that's an issue for you, but some people do want that extra range. You no longer need to clip the FT16 on the side. There is still the port there, so if you want to do it, you still can, but you don't need it anymore. The biggest criticism I had with the old flash was the fact that you needed these extra controllers, and what happened was, because it clipped into the USB, it often felt like it was just going to fall off. The little dial on it which you use to choose which channel, you sometimes nudged it, it wasn't quite clicked into place, and you'd end up wondering why it wasn't working properly. Now it's all integrated. The TTL is very useful. I used to be a very big I only ever shoot in manual flash mode when off camera. More recently I've tried to use this in TTL mode and I actually really like it. It's helped me get a few shots very quickly that otherwise I'd have had to mess about a bit with to experiment with the flash power. Having TTL built in like that just takes the guesswork away. The high-speed sync, again, having it all integrated and working is just so much easier. I don't have to worry anymore about putting an extra transceiver on top of my camera. With the old Nikon one, I had to put the FT16 on top of a a Yongnuo trigger, for example, and then put the 2 units on top of my camera, which was a bit of a faff. I had to sort of think about what I was doing. Now I just switch it over to master mode and fire away, it doesn't really matter. In terms of power, I did meter it when I first got it. I've had them side by side with the Mark 1, and the new one is exactly the same power, so there is no power advantage. If you're looking and thinking I might upgrade to the Mark 2 if it's more powerful, then you'll be disappointed. It isn't. It's no more or no less powerful. It is compatible with the accessories that are already on the market. So if you've already got the the Witstro accessories like the softbox and like all these that I've just pointed out, the cable and everything, then they will all still work. What I'll do is I'll show you the menus in a moment, just a close-up of them so you can see what they're like. They're a lot more like the new Godox Flash than the old AD360. That's really all I've got to say with it, really. It's an incremental upgrade. You don't need it if you've already got the Mark 1, but personally I found the upgrades to have been worth the money. What I would say is, if you are on the market now to buy one, then definitely look at the Mark 2. Pay the extra, unless you're getting a really cracking deal on the Mark 1, then I just think the new features of it really help and will save you a lot of time. Okay, so here we go. This is a close-up of the menu systems. If you've got a Godox TT685 flash already, then it should be fairly familiar to you. The orange shows that it's in slave mode at the moment. Green is generally when it's not in a slave mode, a master mode or TTL mode. At the moment, if you look at the top here, the little symbol there means it's in radio control mode. This tells you it's in TTL, it's in group A, it's a slave on channel 1. So very easily, if you want to change channels, you can press the channel button, use the dial to change it. I'm not going to change it too much because there are loads of channels, and then you've got to just scroll back. Groups, again, you just press the button and you can choose the different groups. This one's got ABC on. I think the later firmwares allow you to go all the way up to E. I've not updated this one yet though. ABC is more than enough for me. I never use more than 2 groups anyway when I'm at a wedding. I've done the channel one. If you want to adjust compensation, you can do it here, TTL compensation. And okay, so that's the slave mode. If you want to change into a different mode, you can press this button here, and that is in full manual mode. And then if you want to show you, well, I'll show you some of the other modes as well. So here you're in full TTL mode, so you can now mount this on top of your camera if you really want to, and it'll act just like another speed light. It's other than the amusement factor, I'm not really sure when you would actually use this. The little symbol here now shows it's in optical mode, so you can use this as an optical master controller now. So if you use the Nikon Creative Lighting System, CLS, then this would be the master commander mode for that. And ditto for this one in slave mode. Again, I'm not really sure when you'd use these. It sort of, to me, defeats the whole point of buying this flash if you're going to use the optical master and slave mode for Nikon CLS system. But the features are there. Personally, I'd like to see a little option to turn them off because, like I said, I can't see many people using it, and it's just an extra menu feature to have to flip through all the time. When you're in a rush, you often miss the little symbol at the top, and then you're wondering why your flashes aren't firing. Other than that, that's it really. Oh, there is one more. Yeah, so the radio master mode, you can use this as a master mode as well, if you so want to. Again, I wouldn't usually use it that way. I'd use the controller itself, and the on-off button at the bottom, and the test fire button here. So that's very quickly the menu system. At the side here, there's the USB port for plugging in the FT16 controller. There's the PC sync cable port, and on the side here is where the battery goes in. That's the flash in a nutshell. I hope you found this review useful. If you've got any questions, then drop me a line.